My name's Harper. I'm 19 years old, and I go by they, them, theirs pronouns.
Okay.
I'm a tattoo artist.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing that?
I've been tattooing for a little under a year now.
Okay, cool.
I'm about to start my sophomore year of college.
Where are you at?
I go to school at SCAD. I identify as non-binary, and I mean, as a queer person, you're kind of always coming out, like every day to every new person you meet. So, I mean, I guess the first time I came out to myself. So, I was just considering, like, for a long time, I wondered whether or not I felt like a girl or a boy. And I figured I didn't feel like a boy, so at the time I didn't know there was anything but the two. So I was like, well, I guess if I'm not a boy, I must be a girl. And then I found out so I never even really told anybody that I was anything but genderqueer. And then as I started getting people to use different pronouns, I like experimented and everything and eventually settled on they, them pronouns. And through more research, I settled on an identity of non-binary. The feeling of coming out definitely changes like every time. Sometimes like when I'm coming out to people at school, I feel a little more safe because especially like at an art school, you feel like people are more open and accepting. But being that I live in the deep south, you never know how somebody's going to respond. So I usually just kind of keep it to myself. Like when I'm meeting new random strangers, like at the tattoo shop, I just don't really bring it up unless I get the feeling that they might be a little more open. Generally what made coming out easier was just being part of the queer community at SCAD, like joining the SCAD Queers and Allies Club. That definitely just helped me out because I saw so many trans people around me and like more non-binary people than I thought I would see like around me coming out and asserting their pronouns and making it clear that they're trans and they're here, you know. And so that made me feel a little bit more comfortable. Community usually feels pretty comfortable. If by community I'm talking about school, which is where I usually am, but out in like just the city in general and where I work and everything, it doesn't feel quite as comfortable because like I said, I just never know how people are going to react. So sometimes I don't feel as safe. Sometimes I like just let people. Sometimes I just let people assume that I'm cisgender and even like get them to assume that I'm cisgender just because it feels safer that way. I don't want, like, sometimes I just feel like I could be in like legitimate danger, so sometimes I just try to keep it low-key because it's frightening enough just being like looking and dressing a certain way that makes people assume that I'm gay in the first place, and so I just try to like tone down the queer just in case.
Yeah. Do you feel like
I don't know if I'll ever be able to feel safely out around everyone, but I feel like I'll definitely start to feel safe around more people, especially if I like perhaps move to a more progressive area. But even down here in Georgia, I feel like, I mean, the whole country is progressing so much, I feel like it's possible for the queer community to begin to feel safer. Just to like just be myself and not be afraid of what people are going to say, even like family and friends. Just if you're yourself and people don't accept it, then it's okay to cut them out of your life because it's healthier to just be your authentic self.
Yeah, so
my pronouns matter because I matter. I matter just as much as anybody else, and so if anybody else's pronouns matter, so should mine.